Hello students, I am starting a series of lectures on higher engineering mathematics taught in first year of undergraduate engineering course common to all branches of engineering. First lecture is about determinants and their properties. So let us start. The definition of the determinants. The expression a1, b1, a2, b2 bounded between two vertical lines is called a determinant, and its value is equal to a1 into b1 minus a2 into b1. In general, a determinant of the nth order is denoted by as shown in the expression. It is a matrix of n rows and n columns. That means it is a block of n square elements arranged in the form of a square along n rows and n columns. Cofactors. The cofactor of any element in a determinant is obtained by deleting the row and column which intersect in that element with the proper sign. The sign of an element in the ith row and jth column is minus 1 raised to the power 1 plus j. An example has been given of a third order determinant in which we are finding the cofactor of B3. Therefore, second column and third row has been deleted. Now, the cofactor B3 is equal to minus 1 raised to the power 3 plus 2 into a determinant of second order, that is A1, C1, A2, C2. The cofactor is denoted by capital letter. Laplace's expansion. A determinant can be expanded in terms of any row or column as follows. Multiply each element of the row or column in terms of which we intend expanding the determinant by the cofactor and then add up all these terms. Now, expanding a determinant of third order by R1, that is the first row, delta is equal to A1, capital A1 plus B1, capital B1 plus C1, capital C1. Capital letters are used for the corresponding cofactors. This is equal to, as shown the expression, A1 into the cofactor minus B1 cofactor plus C1 into the cofactor. Now this is equal to this expression A1, this calculation has been done for the cofactor. Please look at this. Thus, delta is the sum of the products of the elements of any row. These are the elements A1, B1 and C1 by the corresponding cofactors. This is one cofactor, another cofactor and another third cofactor. Now, properties of determinants. The following properties are proved for determinants of the third order, but these hold good for determinants of any order. These properties enable us to simplify a given determinant and evaluate it without expanding the given determinant. So, these properties make it simple to calculate the value of a determinant. First property, a determinant remains unaltered by changing its rows into columns and columns into rows. In the example, a determinant of third order has been given. Now expanding it by row number 1, we get this result. After that, we change the columns. That means A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. That means the rows has been converted into columns. Now expanding this by R1, that is row 1, we get this result. In this case, we take B1 and C1 common, and by taking these two elements common, we get the same result. So this is equal to delta. That means there is no difference when all the rows are changed into columns. The value remains the same. Observation. Any theorem concerning the rows of a determinant therefore applies equal to its columns and vice versa. When a row or column is referred to in general manner, it is called a line. That means a line means a column or a row. If two parallel lines of a determinant are interchanged, the determinant remains the numerical value but changes in sign. So let delta is equal to a determinant of third order. Expanding it by R1, we get the same result which you have already seen. Now, column 2 and column 3 have been interchanged. That means A1, C1, B1. That means the second column has been placed in the third column, and its value has been calculated. Now taking B1 and C1 as common, we get the same result, but it is negative. So delta is equal to minus delta. Corollary. If a line of delta be passed over two parallel lines, that is, if resulting determinant is like this, this is delta dash is equal to, here a column, first column has been passed over two columns and now it takes the third place. Then delta dash is equal to minus 1 raised to the power 2 delta. In general, if any line of a determinant be passed over m parallel lines, the resulting determinant delta dash is equal to minus 1 raised to the power m delta. That means if a column or line is passed over odd number of lines, the result is negative. If it is passed over even number of lines, the result is positive. Third property. A determinant vanishes if two parallel lines are identical. Now consider a determinant delta in which two parallel lines are identical. Interchange the identical lines leaves the determinant unaltered. Yet by the previous property, interchanges of two parallel lines changes the sign of the determinant. That means delta is equal to delta dash is equal to minus delta. Therefore, 2 delta is equal to 0 or delta is equal to 0. Fourth property. If each element of a line be multiplied by the same factor, the whole determinant is multiplied by that factor. Here, second column, this is second column. It has been multiplied by a factor p. Each element of this column has been multiplied by p. It is, the p can be taken common and the whole determinant is multiplied by p. For To solve this problem, please see, for on expanding by C2, left hand side is equal to. Now taking P as common, we get this result within brackets, which is the same as previous delta, which is equal to right hand side. Corollary, if two parallel lines be such that elements of one are equimultiples of elements of the other, the determinant vanishes. Fifth property, if each element of a line consists of m terms, the determinant can be expressed as the sum of determinants. Consider the determinants. Here, first column and second columns are as before, and third column consists of three terms, C1, D1 and E1. Its third column consists of three terms as has been shown in the red. This is the third column. It can be split into three columns. That means in the first column C has been taken, in the second column D has been taken, in the third column even. So a single determinant has been split into three determinants with the proper sign. Sixth property, if to each element of a line be added equal multiples of the corresponding element of one or more parallel lines, the determinant remains unaltered. For example, let delta is equal to a determinant of third order. Now in this, first column has been added, that is P multiple of P1 and subtracted by Q multiple of C1. That means the first column has been changed and the second and third column remains as they were. Here, it can be split like this: A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2 and A3, B3, C3. First, now, this, how to change this now? Plus P B1, B1, C1, P B2, B2, C2, P B3, B3, C3 minus. So this is equal to delta plus 0 plus 0. That means previous properties have been used and we get is equal to delta. Observation, this property is very useful for simplifying determinants. To add equimultiples of parallel lines, the following notation will be used. Suppose to the elements of the second row, we add P times the elements of the first row and Q times the elements of the third row. Then we say operate R2 plus PR1 plus QR3. This is a method to write the operation which we are going to do on the determinant. That means this is row number 2 and P multiple of row number 1 has been added and Q multiple of row number 3 has been added. Seventh, factor theorem. If the elements of the determinant delta are functions of x and two parallel lines become identical when x is equal to a, then x minus a is a factor of delta. Let delta is equal to function of x. Since delta is equal to 0 when x is equal to a, therefore function of a is equal to 0. That is, x minus a is a factor of function of x. Hence, x minus a is a factor of delta. Seventh property, multiplication of determinants. How to do multiplication of determinants. The product of determinants of the same order is itself a determinant of that order. So here there are two determinants, delta 1 and delta 2. A, B, C are the elements of delta 1, L, M, N are the elements of delta 2. We are to multiply these. How to multiply? First see. Now the first row is multiplied with the corresponding elements of the first column. Then second row, it is multiplied with all. First row is multiplied with first column, then second column, then third column. Again, the second row is multiplied by first column, then second column, third column. Similarly, the third row is multiplied with first column, second column and third column. So we get a determinant of third order. So this is the first column. The different columns have been shown in different colors so that they can be visualized easily. This is the first column, this is the second column, this is the third column. This is the method of multiplying two columns. Similarly, the product of two determinants of nth order is a determinant of the nth order.